Afternoon, everybody. We're back for the amateur class race here at Green Hill Racing League. Get everybody going here and get ready for this. I thank you all for joining me. We'll hopefully soon be joined by Dan 00 Alpha. I hope y'all are having a great afternoon. Little bit of sketch in our pro class race today, and I believe that was Dan joining right there.
Yes, it was. Hello.
Good, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. Slightly annoyed by the pro race, but, you know, these things happen. Move on to next week.
It was a little rough, was it not?
Yeah.
Just a tad, huh?
Yeah, just a bit of an understatement.
It happens, man. It happens. Yeah, certainly rougher than last week's pro class race, I think, right? We saw grief and aggravation right up front and I think not just for yourself, but I think a lot of the drivers today struggled.
Yeah,
Mux Kuth qualified in, I believe, second or third, and right in T1 was down into 13th, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Stolowski as well. He also had a couple of mistakes, so I think he's slightly aggravated with his result.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's probably slightly aggravated. Probably slightly aggravated.
Yeah.
And I'm just going through some stuff here, trying to get you added into our browser so everybody can see it. We'll see how many AM class drivers we get today. See, there it is right there. Namaste Maru in chat along with Dunn. Having a conversation. Dunn letting him by, saying they didn't want to get in the way of anybody who was actually racing this season. I think Dunn's just out having fun.
Yeah.
But with that said, we will look to get our AM class race started here very soon. I always try and keep an eye out and see who might be in the driver's meeting and for how long. Well, they're not even starting the driver's meeting until 10 after. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We got lots of time to chat today.
Yeah, exactly.
So. But yeah, man, did you even finish, or you finished out in the pits, right?
Yeah, I just finished in the pits. I came in with like 4 minutes left.
Gotcha.
Because I ended up I was like 3 laps behind Tigo at that point, so it's like, well, I might as well just save myself.
Yeah.
Until next week.
Yep, 100%. Spa next week, as we discussed. I'll bring up the calendar real quick for everybody. Cannot wait. I love Spa. It's one of my favorite tracks. And it is an endurance race. We will be here for 70 minutes for both the pro and the AM class races. Full paddock today, too. 20 pro drivers during today's race.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say there were 20 AM drivers as well last week, although I know 2 of us went up to pro, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if anybody else maybe.
Yeah, if anybody else joins in, or if at least get a very, very close to a full paddock again. I mean, I think we ended with 18 pro class drivers today out of the 20 that started, but certainly nice to see a full grid like that. So.
Yeah, and Bode Cardinal wasn't even in as well, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure we were missing a couple of others as well.
Yeah, I don't know if Cardinal's running this season at all. That's 2 races he's missed, so I don't know if I haven't read anything that he'll be around or won't be around, so we'll have to see.
B5 wasn't in either, so.
Beefy? He was busy driving yesterday. I saw him on stream last night.
Yeah.
Our man
Beefy. So it's interesting to see. Obviously, that we clearly have a lot of pro drivers, so I wonder if maybe that third split is going to come soon.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I know in talking to a few of the mods, one of the concerns is that with the update in February coming, what's going to happen with the split between Series X drivers and 1X drivers, right?
Yeah.
So it really makes it hard to understand what the impact there is going to be, right? Because the update is coming for Series X, not for 1X. Does that mean 1X drivers can't join the private lobbies, and we're going to have to continue to run the hosted lobbies in order to maintain, that everybody can drive together? And I think that was one of the concerns is, do we want to go to multiple, to more splits when we may already have to split things up? So
Yeah.
Certainly going to make it a little bit difficult, I think, but we'll see what happens. Priest Lightning,
Yeah.
is it possible to join during mid-season? Absolutely it is, and Huffman banged it out right there. Join that Discord. Come join Green Hell Racing for some great driving.
Yeah.
Today's race a little rough, again, up front, but that's all right. It happens. Sometimes we have a rough day.
Yeah.
It happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. It's probably one of my 2 races that's going to be cut at the end of the season.
Yeah. Yep, 100%.
Just trying not to have that again.
Welcome to the channel, Priest Lightning. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you guys joining in today. As I try and keep an eye on things here, we wait for the AM class race to kick off. Real quick, I will do this too. I usually don't do much of these during. Oh, no, I won't. I might. If that works. I don't know if it'll work or not. Let's try it. Yeah, well, there we go. Shout out to Dan Double O Alpha for joining us today. For commentary. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you. Pleasure joining you.
I just have to remember to hit the right scene when I switch over to you, because if I don't, it's going to get real weird. And I'm already in the server, but we'll see if I get bounced before the start of this. Oh, Dan, I don't know if you have it or not, so I will shoot it to you in Discord so that you have the, that is the spectator password.
Brilliant. Cool.
Just thought about that, so glad I did. As my wife comes down the stairs looking for my son, to which I say, "Oh, there he is. You're lucky he's out of bed already." Priest, thank you for the follow, my man. Much appreciated. Dan, there's a giant laughing dog on your...
Yeah, there is.
Right
There's
now.
Muttley.
What is Muttley for?
Yeah, I just have him there right now. Just chilling.
Oh my, that's awesome. I'm looking at, because I'm in studio mode right now, so I look over and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Trying to keep an eye on the server.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for as well.
Kickoff. I volunteered to do the driver's meeting for Red today.
Hey, I don't think he took that off, but
I'm not sure he said I could go ahead and do it. I was thinking about it, but you know, I said, well, you go ahead, and if you need me, let me know. I
don't have too many drivers in the drivers meeting, Fran.
No, but he said for the pro race there were only like 8 or 9 in the drivers meeting. Maybe?
Yeah, that's true. There were
And
a
then
lot
we had
more
20
people
drivers.
to join for the race. So.
Yeah. So we'll see a few more jumping in. D2. I see D2. I see El Dermo. I see Stan Lee going to be racing today. Oh wait, I got to say this one right. It's not Jay Bracer. It's JB Racer.
Yeah,
I don't want to screw it up.
again.
I don't want to screw that up 2 weeks in a row, guys. For everyone joining for the M-Class race, I'm sure some of you were not here for the Pro. So I'm just going to say it again. I want to thank you all for being here on Friday that we're able to join. Dan, you, DT Bubs for the gifted subs, man. I appreciate it so much. And
right.
in speaking with, you know, I did the whole sub thing. So for the rest of this fall season, I spoke with Mr. Dunn himself, and I've joined his team. Him and I will be raising money for children's hospitals, myself for the Vermont Children's Hospital. Barsky, how's it going? That being said, keep coming back. Starting next week with the races, we will be raising money. So if anybody wants to give to a charity this fall season, heading into the holidays, I would appreciate that. Just keep your eyes open for some announcements, and we'll have that coming throughout the season. As you watch Chief Blaze already out bouncing across the track, We will switch over to our full race cam. Chief Blaze currently the only one in the server. We'll see if anyone else gets in there.
Yes. I don't think Red is given the go yet, so.
Chief just like the hell with it, I'm gonna go anyway.
Yeah.
Our timer already running now, down to 13 and a half minutes left for qual. So we'll see if others start rambling in here soon.
I mean, it's one way to win it, just being the only car out on track.
He's the only one. Oh, Max Charb. Hold on one second. I can fix that for you, Max. There's a reason for that. Stand by. The same reason Dan would have had trouble today, but I fixed that up for him. There you go, sir. Go take a look again at the bottom, the very bottom of the channel list, and you should be all set. Send that away. There we go with some more joiners finally coming in. And Max did do a fantastic job today, Max. We were watching you. Red gave you the commentator's curse, however. That can all go on him. Because as we were watching you, he made the comment about how great Max was doing today. And that, you know, I hope I don't give him the curse. And literally not like 5 seconds later, Max went wide off into the dirt and almost hit the wall. Red's like, oh no, I did that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I was super focused, and 2 laps consecutively towards the end, I made huge mistakes. But man, what a race!
You know,
I didn't leave track once.
It's awesome, man. And I'll tell you, we talked about you because what we found was yourself, Steadfast, and I'm trying to think of who the other was, but I believe it was Namaste Maru. You know, you qualled lower, right? You qualled in the back half of the paddock. And here's the thing, though. Every one of you, all 3 of you, stayed out of trouble the entire race, right? You kept it clean. You didn't get into any of the incidents that occurred, and there were quite a few incidents during this week's pro race. And that allowed the 3 of you to just get near the top and then drive consistently and maintain those positions, right? I think you jockeyed a couple times with some people, but other than that, being able to get yourself into 4th and then hold on to that up there with the likes of Donkey Pete, who we know drives very fast. He's in the Porsche now.
I think
so
Flying Jim too was with me at the start and followed through of the positions.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I qualified 15, and by the end of first lap I was 9th.
Exactly. So, and then got yourself up even further. So absolutely excellent racing today. And thank you for joining us in the booth.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my result. Anyway, I just came to say hello. Hi.
Not a problem, man.
Hello, Max.
Be waiting to watch you drive some more, Max. So good to have you back on track, man. As we look down through, we have our list building. Chief Blaze, Red Rider, Rudester, Outer Known, Raceland, Stan Lee, Dermo, JB Racer, TG Barry, D2 Rev, Pierre, and Nap King so far joining us on track. So at this point, 12 drivers out today. Danger is Fear, thank you for the follow and thank you for being here. Much appreciated. If anybody new to the channel coming in to watch these guys drive today, and if you are going to follow, I would ask you do me one favor if you could, even if you are a lurker. Please drop a hi into the chat just so I know you're a real person and not a bot, as those have been a problem lately. And I should have announced it during the pro race, and I did not. If anyone starts seeing messages in the chat that shouldn't be there, I will dump this to to emote only and sub only chat very quickly. I don't like doing that because I want you guys to be able to talk, but if I have to, I will. When I do, it will get turned off once I can clean up the mess. It may take just a few moments. We watch Rootster. No one having set times yet. Chief Blaze already back into the pits without a time set. Red Rider up there. McAlpin joining the chat. Welcome, McAlpin. Thanks for being here. Stan Lee out in his bright red Porsche. Kipster in chat. Welcome, Kipster. El Dermo. in the Lexus today. JB Racer in the Honda, taking a page out of Dunn's book. TG Berry in our second Bentley on track today with D2 in the Mercedes. Pierre in another Bentley, that makes 3, and Nap King again bringing up right now in the rear with another Mercedes. Rootster sets our first time with a 1:39.6, and El Dermo about 1 second off his pace.
Do you know what the slowest pro time was? Because I think
The slowest. I want to say
Yeah.
1:38s or 1:39s.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
I'm pretty sure.
So you've got a nice split coming here. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Dunn
very
saying a 1:39.5. That was probably his time because he did it on purpose.
good.
Dunn said he had to drive the Honda this season, give everyone else a fair shot. That's what that comes down to.
If he went Bentley, he would have lapped that JP.
So Stan Lee now taking over in first place with a 1:39.6, edging out Roodster by 2/100ths of a second. And Raceland and El Dermo both also setting times. And now Red Rider getting into the mix, currently number 3rd, 2/10ths off the pace. JB Racer now flying up there as well, bumping Red and everyone else with a just off by 1/10 of Stan Lee's time.
Yeah, 2 Hondas in 2 and 3. These guys seem to always Roadster goes quickest
Yeah,
by 2.5
Roadster
tenths.
Roodster just pumping it up there, taking first. So some close running up front right now.
Yeah. Still got Blaze and Out and Out to settle up as well.
Mm-hmm. Along with
Who,
TG
when on it, are very fast. Out and Out does beat Out Rooster by nearly a second.
JB Racer in the Honda.
Into the gravel. Oh, grass.
JB deciding that this is not his lap. Outer Known now setting the fastest time, breaking down below 1:39 with a 1:38.4. Let's take a quick look at our timetables just to see Stan Lee still holding the purple in Sector 1, but Outer Known taking purple in Sectors 2 and 3 to get that 1:38. And Stan Lee did have a 1:38, I apologize, 1:38.9. So 2 of our drivers now below 1:38 today during qualifying with just under 6 minutes left to go. Outer Known shutting down and going back to the pits to try and make some changes. Red Rider getting himself back up into 3rd, 8/10ths off the pace. Red's, I know, struggling right now with having to go from PC to Xbox. I'm very curious to see what changes to force feedback Assetto Corsa Competizione gets in February with the updated version. Hopefully Roodster able to hold on. His ping time showing quite high right now. We've seen that before and it's never worked out well.
I think he's one of the pro drivers' brothers. I think it's him and Iceman are brothers.
Oh, okay. I really want to do a poll that people can vote in as to who the winner is going to be, but the problem is I can only pick 5 things. So
It's a bit of an issue, isn't it?
yeah, but here's what we'll do. We'll do this today. We'll practice this during today's AM class race. Take our top 5 qualifiers and drop them into a poll. Maybe we're all wrong because someone in the top 5 doesn't win, but we'll give it a shot, right? We will drop that pole. "100% Huff. Yeah, I won't drop that until qualification is completed. We'll give a 10-minute vote time on
Ooh,
that. I'll let that run.
Blaze.
Oh, and there it is. Look at that. Chief Blaze rockets up into 4th, clearing Outer Known's best time by a little over 600ths of a second, bumping everybody. Bumping everybody. We will see if anyone, if Outer Known or Raceland, can keep up with that. I cannot, Huff. Only one. There can be only one. That's what. Come on, Huff. You're killing me, Smalls. Chief Blaze now getting bumped into 2nd with Raceland. Again, this time clearing by only 1/100th of a second. Almost 2. But again, the front of our pack here, the top 3 right now, all within. Wow. And the purple laps, if we take a look, purple laps now, or purple sectors, now spread across 3 drivers. Stan Lee still holding on to Sector 1. Outer Known with Sector 2, and Raceland able to get Sector 3 locked down at this point.
Red Rider just jumps up to 4th there.
Red Rider in number 4 again. Stan Lee back into the pits with 2.5 minutes left of today's qual. Chief Blaze, I think, Chief is one of those guys that I think gets on and does goofy stuff. Like we do Friday night drinking and driving, and it's a goof show, right? And which it's supposed to be. It's not there for actual anything. It's just to have fun with good people, right? And I think what's been going on is he's practicing offline and not letting anybody see, because between now, qualifying in 2nd, just barely off Raceland's pace, as well as his 2nd place finish at Imola during last season, I don't know. We may see Chief Blaze back in pro very soon. He just hasn't pulled the Dan 00 Alpha come from last to 1st before. So maybe that's what it takes to get yourself bumped.
or set a lap record in
Right.
Beat the pole time in the pro guys.
The pro guys. Dunn saying that Chief was able to pull out 37s yesterday, so we'll see if he's able to do that again today. I am Stan Lee now back up into 5th.
Reedster goes to within a second now of the pole time.
Yep. Along with TG Berry as well.
Yeah, it's really, really close up at the top.
Yeah, all these times are very, very closely stacked in the front half of this paddock today. And again, purple sectors changing hands with Raceland. Chief Blaze now holding Sector 1, taking that away from Stan Lee, currently sitting in 5th. As qualifying winds down, just 20 seconds left to go. We'll wait for people to clear out their final laps. I will put myself on number 6 as of right now, Roodster.
Outer Known just 37, so that's...
Wow, there we go. Outer Known now pushing everybody down. Setting that first 37 for today.
Will he be the only one in the 37s?
What's that?
Will he be the only one in the 37s though? Because Blaze is still on a lap. JB can't improve. So down to Blaze now, whether he can stop the Ferrari taking pole.
We'll have 2 Bentleys right up front, though.
No, it doesn't improve.
Nope, no improvement there. So it looks like we are set, guys. There is your grid for the start of today's race. Outer Known and Raceland in row 1. Chief Blaze, Red Rider, the Brothers Grimm right next to each other in row 2. Stan Lee and Roodster bringing up row 3 with TG Berry and El Dermo in 4. JB Racer and D2 Rev in row 5 with Nat King and Pierre in row 6. So with Outer Known, Raceland, Chief Blaze, Red Rider, and Stan Lee, that is your poll for today for 10 minutes. You have an opportunity to vote on who will win today's race. There it is, folks. If you want to vote extra, you can do that. Let's hope for a clean race today as we jump out to our race starting helicopter view. I will stay focused. Actually, it's too late now. I should have started closer to the front, but we'll be all right. So Dan, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but as soon as we get the green flag, you can go back to the garage quickly, and then you're able to change drivers as needed.
Oh, brilliant. Cool.
Now let's see if our AM drivers can keep it a little cleaner today than our pro drivers did going to T1. We did have some stacks out there. It was not fun. And as everyone knows, we are running a poll to see who will win today's race. It is only the top 5 drivers in there, as I only am allowed to put 5 selections in. So we'll stick with that. We could all be wrong at the end of the day, however. You do have the first 10 minutes here to get your vote in on who will win.
20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Set the server now again set for a full formation lap. So plenty of time here for the guys to warm their tires. Get ready to go. Again, Outer Known and Raceland in row 1 with Chief and Red next to each other in row 2. Stanley and Roodster bringing up row 3. Should be right at the top of the chat, Huff. Should still be there. I haven't taken it down yet. It runs for 10 minutes, so. Live and in effect, we'll throw it right up there. There's your standings right now in today's poll. And I will make that go away before the race actually kicks off, gentlemen.
Seems like Wrestling is the underdog today, which is interesting considering he had a very good lap. And he's probably in one of the most stable cars on the grid as well.
Outer Known pulling most of the votes so far, sitting at 44%. That just went down a little bit, still holding 4 votes. Someone must have heard you. Raceland now pulling 1 vote. Chief Blaze and Red both with 2 each, and 1 for I Am Stan Lee. Again, I will turn that off before we get green light, folks. Make that go away. That's probably why, Huff, if you're on mobile, why would you be on mobile? You want to watch this on the big screen. Cast it from your laptop, from your computer. Done saying we need to stop sleeping on Stan. I don't sleep on Stan. I got no horse in this race. I didn't vote. I don't get a vote. Y'all vote in this. As we started watching the guys line up. BB Lightfoot now joining the track. Looks like if he's racing, he will be pulling a pit start for the late join. And we will get the pole out of there as we go into double file. Once it runs down, I will throw that up again real quick for you guys to be able to see it. Joined again today by Dan Double O Alpha, one of our pro class drivers. Thank you so much for being here, Dan. Providing that extra view.
Joining you.
You bring that camera 2 with you. Huff is outside painting his bay window. Here we go, lined up for green.
Here we go.
Green light. Go, go, go.
And we are down into T1. We are going side by side. Everybody on the brakes. We've got folks into the grass and cutting across. And that is not good at all. Who was that? TG Barry lost it coming down and in. Outer Known able to pull out in front so far. Raceland falling back to Chief Blaze now sitting in second. As we wait for our timing screens to catch up. It obviously has to roll through everybody or it gets weird. Outer Known out in front with Chief Blaze running in second right now. Raceland having dropped back to third. Red Rider in fourth and Stan Lee sitting in fifth. Not a lot of changes up front. The incident with Barry happened further back in the pack, but definitely caused some bumping back in there. As we look now, D2 on the back end of Roodster. Let's get down here where we can see what's going on a little better. And Roodster himself on the rear end of Nap King now, looking to go on the inside. Stan Lee going very wide. Bouncing across the grass down the start-finish straight and losing time now. As Nap King and Roodster are both able to get around again into T1. Roodster going wide out into the dirt, letting D2 Rev on by. Nap King now leading this pack with Stan Lee right behind him.
El Dermo making that lap 1 pit stop. I wonder if he'll take it to the end.
Yeah, El Dermo in very early. Gonna clear that thing. Pole is running out, folks. Everybody's got to vote. Get him in. Nap King now off track and let a whole group of people roll on through. Stan Lee will now lead this pack around. Hanging behind JB Racer with D2 Rev and Roodster on his tail. Stan Lee, a very calm driver, someone who can keep consistent and keep control. B-Fife, welcome to the show, B-Fife. Thank you for being here, sir. Sorry you're stuck in traffic. Don't be watching, just listen. Don't watch. We'll try to give you the blow-by-blow best we can. Dan's one of the best guys in the industry, so. Pierre on the back end of Nap King as TG Barry drops back. El Dermo spending a long time in the pits. This seems like more than a tire change.
Yeah, I wonder if he had damage from turn 1.
Yep, if he got caught up.
He does get dropped.
Yep, if he got caught up with TG Barry.
Yeah. There's D2 Rev looking around the outside of Stan, but Stan managing to defend.
Way to bring Dan on board for an air of legitimacy with that accent he has. Well, to us, to everybody else, to him he doesn't have an accent. Red Rider holding strong currently in fourth. So we jump back to D2 Rev right behind Stan Lee. Rootster having backed off just a little bit. Looks like Rev going inside. Are we going to go 3 wide? D2 able to get around. Hold on to it just barely. Now Stan making the play back side by side with Rootster right behind both of them. D2 stretching it out just a little on the inside of the left-hander. The Mercedes handles curves a little bit better some other vehicles. And now able to take it from Stan Lee. Still running a tight
Porsche looks a little beat up. Wonder if it got involved in the turn 1 mess.
It's on Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple scrapes. And that's the poll, folks. Outer known with 36% of the vote. Here's who wins today's poll. Chief, Blaze, Red Rider tied at 18% apiece. I'm sorry, along with Stan Lee, each receiving 2 votes, and Raceland receiving 1 to lock up 9%. D2 Rev and Stan Lee still side by side. D2 just barely able to hold on. And I'll tell you, I've played the lap or 2 battle with D2. Cat can drive and stay consistent. I will give him that. Rootster now holding back just a little bit. Sorry, Maru, there was no poll in the pro race. I just tried that here today. I can only put 5 options in, so there was no poll for the pro race. We will make sure that we do that next week, however.
I do think we know 100% of the votes would have gone for the pro race, though.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, does it matter? Stan's still giving it right to D2, however. Continually getting alongside of him, but just at the wrong point when he puts himself on the outside of the track. Rootster seems content right now to hang back and mind his business. Stan coming now on the inside. Right where D2 got him earlier. Not quite able to get around. But continually applying pressure. Both of them taking a little dip of a toe into the dirt. Now side by side down into T1. Stan able to come in a little later, turn in quicker, and get back in front of D2.
Very impressive from Stan, because it is so easy just to maybe overcook it just a bit and then run wide.
Yeah, just go a little deeper than you thought you should, right?
Yeah.
Now D2 pulling back almost to a second. Not quite on that bumper. We'll see if he tightens that back up. But this is currently our battle on track as we look at the numbers. Everyone else relatively well spread out. Chief 3.8 off the pace with Raceland right 1.9 behind him, and Red Rider running 1.2 back and forth. JB Racer able to get himself up in the 5th position ahead of Stan Lee, 4 seconds back from Red at this point. As we continue to watch, I am Stan Lee, D2 Rev, and Rootster run together. Come around one more time. Stan able to make the pass last time into T1, and this time able to keep D2 at bay.
Red Rider starting to close in on Raceland a little bit.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it. It just got to under a second, so I'm like, I'll have to jump up there soon. Namaste, I can. That is for PC races only. And I have not actually worried about getting it running yet, but that will only work with PC races and will let you see the telemetry from various vehicles. So I'm hoping to get that working soon. I close it down right now because there's one PC race a week. I haven't worried about it, but I'm hoping to soon get that working for everybody. D2 now making the move on Stan as he goes wide and able to get it there. Can he hold it? We're going to come back up side by side for these guys again. Roodster still playing the waiting game, trying to decide when is it my turn. All three of these guys, drivers, having an excellent race so far, though, no matter where they land. Keeping it clean. And you're right, man. Stanley's Porsche looks a little twerked up. And right there, he had to swing it back. Almost opened the door for Roodster. D2 trying to prevent any sort of
there on the straight.
Atypical Turner, welcome so much to today's race, my man. This is our AM class race of Xbox Green Hell Racing. That's what I'm thinking, Iceman, is that Roodster's just kind of trying to play back, keep up with him, not let the gap open up, but at the same time, not want to try and get it tied up with him. Turner, I am doing great, my man. We're having some good racing today. We're watching a really clean battle go off right now. Pro Race had a little bit of trouble, as Dan can attest to. Dan, you probably didn't know that, but I am the head wanker.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Trying to take it from Red then.
D2 Rev now opening it up a little bit over Stan, up over half a second. Red Rider still holding a solid 7/10 off the back end of Raceland. But now having tightened it up, coming down the stretch over the start-finish line. Red on the inside. Not quite there, though. And D2 now opening up almost a full second over Stan Lee.
TG Barry starting to catch up to Stan and Roodster though, so
yep. We may soon have a pack of 4.
Yeah, just made a couple of mistakes on the last lap. If you can cut those out, then it'll be up to these guys in no time.
Again, Red Rider applying pressure to Raceland as we watch. He was within 1/10. Tucking it right under the wing of that Bentley as they come around. Turner, you're not wrong. Sit back and we will handle the commentary for you, my man. Come back down the start-finish line with Red Rider and Raceland into T1. Red Rider again trying to tuck it under. Not quite enough down that start-finish straight, however, to be able to make that pass. D2 now having run away a little bit from Stan Lee, but Roodster still sticking to the back end of Mr. Lee, and TG Barry again continuing to close that gap. Chief Blaze, Outer Known, holding on to first, 5.5 seconds over Chief Blaze. Chief stretching it out So it's almost 7 seconds over Raceland. Really running consistent today. As we watch the battle for third go on right now. Mr. Peanut Butter, you're killing me. Yes, we can do that. Let's take a look at Outer Known real quick. Let's go on board with Outer Known as he comes around. We will go 1 lap on board. As we will keep an eye on Mr. Dan's camera down below to watch for any action we might be missing.
Red really hounding Raceland here within 7 tenths.
Yep. He's been dropping back a little bit, but he's at one point he was within a tenth, and we got on him, and he had tucked the nose of that car right up under the wing of that Bentley. So
yeah, as we see TG Barry make his first stop of the race,
dropping into the pits.
I wonder if he'll have any damage to repair.
We see their Outer Known's last lap time, a 1:37.488 race lap. We know he was able to break into that 1:37 during qual as well.
Two tenths quicker than his pole lap in quali, so
yeah. Man is certainly feeling his groove today, isn't he? We watch him come around one more time. He's about half a second off his pace there, but still within that 137 range. Right at 138.1. Chief Blaze now currently 6 seconds off that pace. Raceland sitting in third. 8.5 seconds, I'm sorry, almost 9 seconds off of Chief, with Red Rider continuing to apply pressure. JB Racer in fifth, coming down in his Honda, with D2 Rev having stretched out in front of Stan Lee by over 1.4 seconds at this point. And Stan getting a little bit of a stretch on Roadster. As we continue down, Nat King currently sitting in ninth. BB Lightfoot, a late joiner, but got himself up into 10th. Pierre sitting in 11th with TG Barry and El Dermo, both down at the bottom of our list today. Red Rider now within half a second.
D2 Rev slowly gaining time on JB and P5, but not too sure whether it'll be enough by the end of the race. Obviously, all these guys still have to make pit stops, and time can really be gained or lost through there.
Yeah. But he's definitely opened it up over Stan at this point. And even here now we see the stretch with Raceland, you know, second and a half now outside of Red Rider.
Yeah, Stan made a mistake and has let Roadster through.
Yes, he has.
So that gap is now a lot bigger to D2 Rev.
Yeah. D2 coming back this season, gonna run away with it. Chief Blaze currently running in second.
As Red makes his first stop.
Red Rider into the pits. Red was talking about how he was going to go ahead and put 2 pit stop strategies in, just depending on what happened in the first lap. I say he'll only have to use his good one. Very clean racing today in our AM class race so far. A little hiccup up front, but beyond that, everyone has been very, very clean across all this. As we check in again with Outer Known, continuing to open up a little bit over Chief Blaze. Chief now able to just take his time and stay consistent, with Raceland 10 seconds off pace. As we see, I Am Stanley also heading into pits, and pretty good feeling that he will be making repairs while in there, given the look of that Porsche. Porsche. I'll get in trouble for saying it wrong.
Red Rider leaves the pits, hoping for that undercut on Raceland, trying to get that 3rd place.
I know myself, I typically go in early, but that's me, right? And I'm not very fast, so. Rootster now coming up to within a second of D2 Rev. TG Barry now between them. So we'll see how quickly he's able to clear that back marker.
I think D2 Rev must have made a mistake or got stuck behind Barry, because he's lost like 3 seconds to JB that lap. So.
Yeah, I have a feeling he got hung up behind the back marker. I haven't seen him go off or anything. I mean, you never know, but I think Barry slowed him up a little bit and allowed Rootster to close that gap. Now Barry letting Rootster on through on the start-finish straight.
As Raceland comes in, tries to cover off Red Rider now. Be interesting to see how close they'll be on pit exit.
Yeah, Red all the way down and currently running in 10th. We'll see if he's able to make that up. Chief Blaze continuing to stay out along with Outer Known. 45-minute race. Chief would have no problem staying out for the entire time if that pit stop was not required. That Bentley has a big old fuel tank on her. Certainly wouldn't be a problem for him. BB Lightfoot. Now, granted, you know, some people below him have taken pit stops. He has not, but BB Lightfoot currently running in 7th. It looks like Raceland is back out.
Looks like TG Barry is just stuck in the gravel as well. He looks...
Yep, not moving
looks
currently.
Beached.
I see that. TG Barry sitting. The wheels are turning, but he is not moving.
Yeah, can he get going?
I wonder if he can't get out of there. Wow, that's crazy.
This is weird. I've not seen this before.
Outer Known now into the pits ahead of Chief Blaze. We'll see if Chief comes in. JB Racer now into the pits, sitting in 3rd with D2 Rev in 4th, Rootster in 5th, Nap King in 6th, BB followed by Pierre Raceland, who Raceland is ahead of Red Rider, but very close down to a 2.7 gap. So Raceland able to get back out ahead of Red and just have a little bit more of a spread there, but Red already closing it up again, and we'll see if he's able to make the move.
Looks like Barry has a puncture.
Says he has a puncture.
In chat anyway, so.
I didn't know you could get punctures. I thought the car just got jacked up to where you couldn't drive in a straight line.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
And we see he has now jumped back into the pits. That is going to cost him, and that is a shame. JV Racer now in the pits. Outer Known has cleared his pit stop out in 4th at this time, with Chief Blaze, D2 Rev, and Rootster all out in front, having yet not cleared those stops. What do I do? Barry, you have to, if you jumped back to the pits, you will have to sit there until your timer runs out, unfortunately. Your repairs should get made during that time. Oh, you're stuck. Is Barry still stuck out in the dirt? No, he's in the pits now. Yeah. Yeah, just sit in the pits, let your timer run down. Your repairs should get made while you're there, sir. BB Lightfoot now up on the back of Outer Known, but Outer Known quickly climbing up through. Currently in 4th. Yeah, unfortunately, Barry, if you do a return to pit, it's a 2-minute penalty. Obviously cost you, but if you were stuck and couldn't move, and we could see the tires spinning, we could not see you moving. So unfortunately, that will be the hit that has to be taken today. And Rootster now into the pits as we watch Nap King dropping in as well.
Oh, Nap King hit the wall on it at entry.
Bounced it, did he?
Oh, that's going to be painful.
Wow.
Oh, and that's going to be repairs as well, so...
Yep. Oh, yeah, he did. I see him dragging it through there. Roodster now into the pits, along with Napking and Pierre. Red Rider now closing again to with under a second of Raceland. With that, we will be waiting on Chief Blaze D2 and BB Lightfoot to clear pit stops. We will see where Chief Blaze can get back out. Outer Unknown now into third, with that pit already cleared. Barry saying he hit a curb, and boom, that was the end of that. So we go on board with Red Riders. He attempts to chase down Raceland.
King still in the pits with that damage.
Was that from up front? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, on the pit entry, he
Oh, that's right.
bounced
That's
it.
right. Chief Blaze now 16 laps deep with just over 18 minutes left to go. Still not dropping into the pits, along with D2 Rev staying out. BB Lightfoot as well. And this is our current battle right now, folks. Red Rider continuing to try and apply pressure to Raceland. Not able to find a gap at this point.
Oh, Barry has another puncture apparently. I wonder if he didn't change tyres in the pits.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, and Barry's trying to get off track now.
Yeah.
He struggles to bring it back. Barely able to hold.
Another car coming around the corner.
Oh, Barry going back into the track.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the JB.
Oh.
Hopefully that's not damage for the Honda.
Oh, JB Racer taking a hit from Barry. Red Rider continuing to tighten this up on Raceland. Fluxing anywhere from 1 second down to 1/10 off that bumper. On that Raceland Bentley.
As Chief makes his stop.
Chief into the pits now. We'll see how things get tossed around here. Waiting to see when D2 heads in. Outer Known should be able to get back up front off of this. I don't believe Chief had any damage up front, was able to skate away.
D2 Rev still out on track.
Chief still sitting in the pits right now. As Outer Known comes around, Chief not yet moving, so it looks like Outer Known will be taking that back. Chief gets moving again. D2 still now out in front, still having to make that stop, but Outer Unknown definitely on by. We'll see if BB Lightfoot got through as well, along with Raceland or Red Rider. So Chief Blaze now dropping back out on track in 6th behind Red Rider and Raceland. A long stop. And now we're going to bring it back together. Chief Blaze tightening back up on the rear end of Red Rider in his Lamborghini as Red continues to try and chase down Raceland.
Wow, so both Raceland and Red managed to jump Chief in the pit.
Yep.
I know
That's
Red
what I'm
had fantastic pace coming out of it, but it's like, it's interesting to see that.
It is, and it's very interesting actually, because that's going to jump now with D2 Rev into the pits. BB Lightfoot still having to make his stop. We should see Raceland into number 2, Red number 3, and Chief Blaze sitting in 4th after this.
Yeah, and Blaze just made a mistake there as well. He's going to lose a bit more time to those guys.
Off into the dirt. Red bouncing curb as well.
For his last stop.
D2 Rev still sitting. TG Barry coming back out now. As BB heads in, this will put Raceland up in number 2. Barry coming out between Chief Blaze and Red Rider. Red continue to try and close that gap. Done. I'm pretty sure Stan killed himself. If I'm remembering right.
I think he got involved in the accident at turn 1.
Yeah, he was. I think he got tied up in turn 1 and then was off track at one point. So.
Yeah, made a couple of mistakes throughout this race.
Looks like Chief Blaze has cleared TG Barry as a back marker, now coming up on the back end of Red Rider.
Gonna want that podium back.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially given now Raceland in 2nd, Red Rider in 3rd, Chief Blaze sitting in 4th, who's been running in 2nd the whole race. JB Racer now out behind him in 5th, with D2 Rev coming back out of the pits in 6th position, ahead of Roodster. You know, BB Lightfoot can't complain though. He started this race from the pits and is now currently running in 8th.
He's had fantastic pace this race.
Absolutely.
It's been a very good race. I think he just managed to stay out of trouble and like stay out of any traffic, and he's just sort of made positions by, you know, simply keeping it on the track.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just kind of minded his own business, right?
Yep.
Fife, you almost got yourself banned. I'm glad I checked. I'm glad I checked on who sent that message. I see 3 stars and it tells me somebody tried to drop a. That tells me somebody tried to drop a link into the chat. So I had to look real quick and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, then I actually read it and I'm like, okay, it's beefy. Don't ban him. Don't ban him. I get quick on a trigger, man. I'll be honest with you. Red doing his best to find a little bit of time, and then the gap he needs to get up on Raceland, and it so far just has not happened for him. He's sticking right with him the whole time, but their battle back and forth has allowed Chief Blaze to close the gap from 2.5 down to 1.5 seconds.
What's going on with Barry? Because, again, apparently he can't play. His tyres are gone yet again, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
This is very, very
That is unfortunate when things start to glitch out.
Yeah, I wonder if it's anything to do with tire pressures or something.
All three drivers now stacked up, coming around that tight carousel and back up the hill. Chief Blaze has now caught himself up to start applying the pressure to Red Rider.
Oh. You do not want Bentley in your rearview mirror at all.
No. Especially if it's being driven by Chief Blaze.
Yeah, Barry's Bentley, look. Definitely worse for wear.
Is he not repairing when he's in, I wonder? Or... I mean, he's certainly going into the pits, and he's certainly staying for a long time, but I'm just saying, I wonder, are they not repairing the car and there's something wrong?
Yeah. Maybe.
He's doing his best to stay off track at this point and just get around back to the pits again. But I'm wondering if there's a pit strategy issue that things aren't being repaired properly.
Oh, Red ran wide out of the last corner there.
As we watch Raceland's Red Rider and Chief Blaze, Pierre giving them a wide berth to let them go have at it. Back down into T1. Chief Blaze, not waiting for Red Rider to try and make a move on Raceland, is going to look to do his own thing. Red now feeling that pressure and letting Raceland stretch it out just a little bit as Chief Blaze fights, as you said, to get back on podium today. Chief now keeping it very, very tight. As we go on board with him behind Red Rider. As we take a look, and Dunn gets muted by the auto mod. Chief now stretched back a little bit down the start-finish straight, but quickly catching back up, going a little wide into T1. I did not ban Dunn. Dunn got himself axed for 60 seconds for goofing off. I didn't do it to him. I would never do that to Dunn. He's a good dude. He's a better man than I, Gungadin, and I wouldn't do that, but he must have said something the auto mod didn't like. I don't know. Red Rider now up to within 7/10. Sitting on the back end of Raceland's Bentley. A little bit of a kick slide there as he comes through. Chief Blaze doing his best to catch back up. As Red Rider turns his Lamborghini into the meaty center of a Bentley sandwich. TG Berry back into the pits. As we take a look back with just under 6 minutes left. Outer Known still leading right now by a good margin. Raceland's in second. We'll continue to keep our eyes here. 20 seconds over Raceland's at this point. Red Rider and Chief Blaze with him. Chief going wide around into T1. looking to make time on red. JB Racer running in 5th with D2 Rev back in 6th and Rootster 7th. BB Lightfoot having climbed himself from a pit start up into 8th. I am Stan Lee, currently running 9th, and El Dermo in 10th.
This gap from JB to D2 Rev is flying down. I think D2 Rev just caught 2 seconds that lap, so
really
it'll be interesting to see if he can catch up by the end of the race.
No kidding. JB Racer in his Honda. JB Racer and Rootster both with very high ping times there. Just saw a wobble from Racer as we watched, but I think that might be a little bit of ping swing. We missed something because I was over with you. Red Rider and Chief Blaze now around Raceland, both of them getting by. I don't want to jump back to a replay. But we will save one real quick, and then we can jump back at the end of the race and go take a look and see what we missed. Where Red Rider able to get clear air now into 2nd with Chief Blaze behind him and Raceland 25 sitting in 4th. But I don't see anyone with any damage at this point, so obviously very clean racing. We will go back and take a look. At the end of this race with just 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. Red Rider with clean air out in front of him for the first time in a long time. Trying to put a stretch on Chief, but we do know Chief qualified very high. Obviously having a good day on this track.
Yeah, D2 to within 2.2 now of JB, so...
And definitely closing that gap very quickly. I said immersion with a bunch of symbols, joking about software issues being the mechanical, electrical failures. And well done. Whatever it is you said, got you banned. It didn't. The auto mod didn't like what you had to say. We continue to watch Red Rider lead the pack. Still 22 seconds off of Outer Known's pace, but certainly not going to close that before the end of this. But will want to hold on to that 2nd position right now. Chief Blaze dips a toe into the dirt, but continues to hold a 1 second lead over Raceland.
D2 Rev right on the back of JB now.
I see that.
In the fight for 5th.
We will stick with Red Rider here and continue to watch down below on Dan Double Alpha's screen. D2 made that up very quickly and going side by side now. Racer on the inside of that corner. D2 not quite able to swing it around.
Oh, side by side through here, really squeezing the Mercedes.
Little door slamming as D2 goes on the inside.
That's fantastic racing.
Yes, it is. Side by side. Racer just barely able to hold on to that position. And now Chief Blaze and Red Rider both caught up to a pack of back markers in Nap King and El Dermo. Going to hold them back on this final lap. Whoops. Let's get back to it here. Hitting the wrong buttons. D2 can taste it. He wants number 5 before the end of this race. Pierre getting well on and out of their way.
Ooh.
I just got to say, you know...
Oh. Tiny bit of contact there coming out.
Oh, just a bump, but Racer able to hold it. D2 backing down.
That pack of back markers is really in the way now. Of
yeah, they are. There's like 4 of them right in front of those guys. As we watch here, JB Racer. One more lap. He's going to have to hold D2 off for just one more lap. As we watch Red Rider and Chief Blaze just jammed into traffic. 3 back markers now in front of him. Red trying to go side by side and create a buffer between himself and Chief to hold on to that position. Getting around El Dermo.
Oh my god.
5 cars, 6 cars. This is getting a little crazy. Stanley and Nap King still out front. Chief Blaze able to clear.
Outer Known is just...
Outer Known is now finished. Stanley attempting to get out of the way and bumps Red.
D2 Rev just bumped JB as well at the same time. I see that
same corner, wasn't it? I think that was the same corner.
Long right hander, yeah, maybe.
I think that was the same corner. Red Rider still holding on, coming down into the start-finish straight. And able to hold on to take P2 with Chief Blaze in P3. We jump back to C. D2 Rev now still holding position over Racer after the bump. No doubt that will be contested after today's race. Stanley and El Dermo finishing in 9th and 10th today. Outer Known, your winner for our standard race at Zandvoort. AM class for Green Hell Racing. D2 Rev able to hold on to that, but that will be contested as JB Racer comes in right behind him. And let's jump back in to our... Whoops. On the wrong screen here. We will jump out real quick, folks. Stick with us. We're going to go take a look real fast. There are your standings before I leave. Outer Known comes in number 1. Red Rider 2nd. Chief Blaze taking 3rd. Raceland number 4. D2 Rev in 5th. JB Racer 6th. Rooster, BB Lightfoot, Stanley, and El Dermo finish out your top 10 with Pierre Napking and TG Berry at the bottom of today's list. Excellent racing today from our AM class drivers. Let's go out and take a look, though, at how Red Rider... Well, we're going to go out right now and take a look at how Red Rider and Chief Blaze were able to worm their way around Raceland at some point. I got to go find you.
Blue flags, boys. Blue flags. I get that you're fighting, but all 3 of you pull over and let us by. Jesus Christ.
Oh, give me 1 second here, folks. We're going to turn that off.
Good job, Chief. I don't know how you kept it together.
Wait a minute.
Oh, man. I'm on push to talk, so you didn't hear me, I don't think. Yeah, dude.
I was dropping F-bombs, so I hope you were too.
I was too, especially on the straight. Like, I know you don't have to give up position, but on the straight, at least let us by. Why are you fighting for the inside, dude?
Yeah, clearing 3 wide. Jesus Christ, guys.
Yeah.
I get it.
Listen to this. This is what happens, guys.
I get it. You're fighting for positions too.
Look, for
all
everyone
3 of you,
off with a blue flag, I'm fucking sorry. I get it now. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
As we continue to jump it up here, we watch as Red Rider and Chief Blaze. Red, what's your car number? Number 1. There we go. Okay. We're going to focus on you right now to see how you guys got around Raceland. We missed it at some point because we were focused on another battle.
I recorded it to review later because that was...
Oh, we're going to take a quick look.
And hey, Wrestling, good job, buddy. I didn't think you would last that long. I didn't think you were going to crack. I was starting to worry. I was like, well, crap.
There you go, Dunn. There you go, Dunn. You are not the only one. B. Fife, timed out by the auto mod today.
Yeah, good battle, Red. Stan came back on track, or I think I had you set up on that last turn to be a photo finish, but I got pushed off my line by Stan. But
okay, I was concentrating on not hitting the 2 in front of me, so I couldn't really tell what you were doing. I was just hoping you didn't go where I was about to.
No, you had to go around Stan, and I had to go even further around Stan, and then I lost by half a second. But Happens.
Yeah. That's what you get for being sandbaggers. We end up back here racing with guys that are learning. It happens.
Oh, there it
They've
was
never
right
been
there.
in that situation
So
before.
Raceland
I
heads
fucked
off.
up my pit stop.
So basically, Raceland heads off into the dirt and allows you two to take it.
Yes.
Well, a little bit of a door
pretty
slam.
much.
Looks like a little bit of a door slam with Chief there.
Yeah, somebody, I think Stan bumped me too. I heard a thump and felt a jerk to the right through the carousel. I
was
he
all
got
the
a
way
hold
on
of
the
me
outside there, Molson. I was trying to give him as much room as possible, and I still got door slams. So
No, I see it. It didn't look like a bad bump though. Just a little bit of a tap, but you were able to then clear around. So
rough tap.
yeah,
Rough tap.
yeah. Excellent racing though from you guys today. Not just yourselves, but D2 Rev, and who was there? Dan. Who was the other one?
JB. Right?
JB. That's right.
I wouldn't have even been in a battle, but I hit the ignition button twice, so my car wouldn't start.
I wondered how I got by you.
Oh, we saw you come out.
Then you
got to
come to a complete stop, restart it, and I'm just like, ah!
You know, I was on you in the pits because we were waiting to see if you would be able to get back out in time. And I noticed that the car seemed to move a little bit and then stop. And I'm like, it must have been the game. But no, it was you, is what you're saying.
No, it was me. Yeah, I would have been totally clear. I would have been the same amount of time behind Adder Unknown and in front of Red the same amount of time, but I fucked up the start.
I couldn't figure out how I got in front of you. That explains it.
Gotcha. Well, that does explain it. Quite well, actually. So there you go, guys. That's your AM Class race today. I thank everybody for joining me. Joining myself, joining Dan for today's AM Class race. Red and Chief for being here for the Pro Class race. Thank y'all. And as we said earlier, we will be back next week for an endurance race at Spa, September 12th. Again, I love Spa. So 70 minutes of racing for both classes next week. I encourage everyone to get over here and take a watch of these guys because we had some great racing today. And I will say this. The AM Class race was, I mean, there were incidents, right? We saw it. D2 bumped out. I think that's going to be contested, and I think he's going to end up giving that position back if it's contested. But overall, the AM Class race was much cleaner than the Pro race today, I got to say.
Was it? Okay. All I saw was like the wreck in the first lap that happened behind me.
Yeah, I mean, T1, there was a problem, right? We saw T1, we saw D2 Rev bump. To take a position towards the end. But overall, I'm saying there wasn't a whole lot that went down. The only other thing I would say is that TG Barry, if it's jacked up that bad, you got to stay off the track, my man.
Oh,
he let me right by.
Yeah, but the problem, hold on. You guys went by and then he backed into the track. And I know he was trying to get himself turned around, but he backed up and then sat, and somebody came up and just bing, hit him with the T-bone.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of brutal.
Sucks.
So, yeah, it was kind of brutal. So, again, I don't think it was something – I think he was having problems with his pit stop. He would come back out on track and the car was still screwed up. It wasn't something he did, but then he was trying to get back around track and not just teleport back to the pits where he's going to lose the 2 minutes. I get it 100%, but you got to try and stay off track in those cases, right? So,
right.
Beyond that, again, very clean race from our AM Class drivers today. So, Green Hill Racing, guys, we're back next Saturday for PC ACC racing, and next Sunday right here for Xbox Pro and AM Class races. So again, thank you to Dan, thank you to Red, thank you to Chief. You guys are awesome for coming in here. Thank you everybody
thanks
watching.
for doing an awesome job as usual, buddy.
I do my best, my man. Absolutely. I will be here every week. So thank you everyone watching. You guys have an awesome week coming up. Have a great holiday tomorrow if you do have one. And again, we'll be back next week for more racing. Stick around.
Bye-bye, guys.